Mike Radich here, and I'm now joined on the phone by former Tuff-N-Uff Amateur Flyweight champion, Cortney Casey. Cortney, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. Cortney, you got a fight coming up June 27th at PXC 44. How's training been going for the fight?
Training is going good. I moved camps. I moved out of Arizona, moved out to Maui. So things are going great out here. Couldn't be happier with my training partners and my gym and all my coaches. So I'm definitely prepared for this fight.
Now, what's the reason you decided to move from Arizona to Hawaii? Is it because of fighting, or is it because of something outside of fighting? I'm just curious, what's the reason for moving to Hawaii?
A little bit of both. My husband actually is a black belt in jiu-jitsu, so he ended up getting a job offer out here in Maui. So we took it up because who doesn't want to live in Maui? And it ended up being a great fit for me, and a lot of light guys, and the gym's great. It's a great location, has a lot of great boxers and wrestlers and of course MMA fighters, so it's definitely a good fit for me.
Now, was there ever a chance that you would live in Hawaii, but when you had a fight scheduled, go back to Arizona to train and do your camp there? Because I talked to some of your old teammates, and they said that you still keep in contact with them. So was that ever on the table? Was that ever something you thought about? Or was it when you got to Hawaii, you just realized that you can get solid training there and you have the right bodies around you, and you just decided to keep going? Was that ever on the table that you would go back to Arizona to do your camps?
Yeah, it was definitely a feeling out process just to, see what they offered for me as a female fighter. And then, I always have all my training partners, old training partners back home, been with them for a long time, so they're like family. So I know whenever I need their help, they'll welcome me with open arms to go back there and train with them. So it's definitely, it's been a good experience. I haven't had to, change my camp and say, look, I got to go back for training, for X amount of weeks. Out in Arizona because camp's been so good here. But I did go back home last week for my brother's wedding, and I got to work with a couple of training partners. So I did get to dip back into the Arizona lifestyle for a little bit for this fight as well. So it's definitely been good.
I see. Now, where are you training at, and who are you training with in preparation for this fight?
I'm training out of the Nest, which is New Era Sports Training, out in Maui. I've been training with a lot of great guys. A lot of good boxing coaches, a lot of up-and-comers, amateurs, a few pro fighters. We got Riley Dutro, and then we got Joel Dutro's brother as well. So they're 35ers and 25ers, so it's definitely good for me. But other than that, just a lot of scrappy guys with background in wrestling. We got John Pico, who's a great wrestler, and a lot of great guys.
Any girls out there for you to work with?
Not a lot. We do have a girl, Tiani. She's a 125er amateur. I did get some working with her a little while ago, but she just won the MFC Maui Fighting Championship out here. So she's kind of been taking her time, enjoying that win and stuff like that. But I definitely did get some working with her prior to me getting this fight.
Now, do you prefer to work with men, or is it just something where that's what's available to you? And
yeah, it's kind of what's been available to me. So I'm used to training with the guys. I like being pushed, because they're always a lot faster, a lot stronger than us. So just being able to keep up with them and keep their pace, definitely helps my game out a lot. So I don't really complain too much. Every now and then it's good to get a girl in there and be able to work with them, because especially as far as jiu-jitsu goes, their bodies are built a little bit different, our bodies are, so being able to roll with them definitely helps. And I've been able to work with Penny Thomas a little bit. She's a black belt, so it's been good.
This fight on June 27th is going to be your strawweight debut. You're dropping down to 115 pounds. I'm just curious, why did you decide to make the move down to that weight class? Is it because 125 is kind of no woman's land right now in the MMA landscape? You got 115, which is very deep, and then you have 135 that's very deep. So is that one of the reasons why you're dropping down to 115, because 125 isn't very deep and 115 is? Or is it because you should have been fighting at 115 all along? What exactly led you to drop to strawweight?
Not that it's my more natural weight. I just wasn't cutting a lot of weight for 125. It was something that me and my coaches had been talking about for a while, and it just so happened to, fall into place right around the same time that they offered that 115-pound weight class. It wasn't anything, specific to the UFC opening that weight division. It was something that I had planned earlier. It just happened to fall in that same time frame. But I definitely feel good walking around, right now at like 126, 128, fluctuating in between there. Right now, I'm 2 weeks out from the fight, so I think it will be not an easy weight cut, but just because it's my first one. But I definitely think once I get the hang of it, it's definitely going to be a good weight class for me.
Mm-hmm. I see. Now, since this is your strawweight debut, I'm very curious to know why you didn't try out for The Ultimate Fighter this upcoming season, season 20. That season is going to feature all 115-pound females on that show, so I'm just curious, why did you decide not to try out for the show? Is it because the weight class, you didn't want your first time fighting at 115 to be on that show, be on a big stage like that? Or is it because your camp maybe wants you to develop a little bit more? You only have 2 fights. Is it something where your coaches don't want you going into the house right now, maybe get some more experience under your belt and then send you in there? What exactly is the reason why you didn't try out for Tough?
It was definitely something that we wanted to do. My coaches wanted to do, I wanted to do, but unfortunately I didn't meet the requirements for the tryouts. You needed to have a winning record, which I didn't have because I'm 1-1. So it automatically excluded me from the tryouts. I could have went and tried out, but I never would have made the show. I had a friend, one of the live martyrs, Jillian, who made it all the way to, she was 0-1, and she made it to the mitt work, but she just was flat out told, we can't move you on because, or she made it to the mitt work, and they just told her, we can't move you on because of your record. So it was something that, flying all the way from Maui to Las Vegas was a trip in itself. So we decided just to focus on getting a fight and getting a good fight and getting a couple wins, at that weight, and then hopefully going to the UFC through the back door instead of going through the show.
Mm-hmm. I see. Now, what's the deal with XFC? Because you're still signed with them, but they haven't done a show in the U.S. in a very long time. What's your contract status with them, and what's the deal? Are they, planning on coming back to the U.S. anytime soon?
Yeah, from my conversation with Prisco, they're definitely coming back to the U.S. Just right now, they're really focusing on the XFCI and the international over there, and building that so that they can do kind of like a U.S. versus international kind of tournament setting. So I think they're just trying to get their champion set over there, and then they're going to definitely come back to the States and have more of a tournament style, and then have an actual world champion title fights.
I see. Now, what's the process you have to go through to get a fight outside the organization? Is it very simple? You just go to them, you say, hey, they offered me this fight, and then they say yes or no? Or is it something where the promotion has to go to them and get clearance? What's the process like?
It's a process. Not going to really give you the logistics on that, okay. But I'm just happy that I was able to be able to given the okay to fight outside of the XFC. They've been great to me. I have no complaints with them. So I was presented with the fight from Guam, and I presented to them, and my manager did what they needed to do, and I ended up getting the fight. So it's good on both sides, and I'm happy with my decision, and happy that XFC allowed me to get out of my contract for a short amount of time to be able to fight.
Mm-hmm. Now, your last fight was probably a fight that you don't really want to remember, but it was a great performance by you up until the end there. You were completely dominating the fight, and then you got caught in a submission. What went wrong for you that night? Obviously, you had her in a bunch of trouble. I thought you were going to get her to tap or go to sleep numerous times, but it didn't happen. What exactly went wrong for you? Why couldn't you get her to tap? And then on the flip side, what was she doing that allowed you not to make that happen?
I don't think I really did anything wrong in the fight. I was doing what our game plan was, and that was to, stand with her until she initiated to take it to the ground, and not to fight the takedown too much where I got tired, and just to kind of make sure that I got in a good position to implement my submission game. But unfortunately, it didn't go as planned because of the substance that was used by by the opponent. But, at the end of the day, I did get caught in an armbar. But, at the same time, I wasn't able to implement my game plan, my submission game plan as I wanted to because of the banned substance.
Right.
But, at the end of the day, I really just wanted a rematch. I didn't complain. I didn't say that she needed to get her belt stripped or that, needed to go as a no contest or anything like that. I just wanted, the commission to be aware of the situation and so that it didn't happen in the future, and then also for me to be able to get a fair fight. And, we're still working on that. If it happens, it happens. If not, it doesn't. But, I'm moving on and continuing to fight and, do what I need to do to become a better fighter.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Now, did anything ever happen with that? Because after the fight, there were a bunch of rumors about the banned substance. You said there were a bunch of rumors like, there was going to be an investigation and all kinds of stuff, but then we haven't heard anything about it. And it's, the fight happened back in October. So is there anything in the works right now?
I filed an appeal as a request, by XFC for me to make sure that I did file the appeal. And then as far as that goes, we just got to sit and wait. We were told it takes 6 to 8 months. And then if it does go to hearing, then, you do a court hearing and whatnot. But as of right now, I just wanted to make it aware that there was obviously something that was on my opponent as of it showed on my shorts and all my gear. So, for her to say that it wasn't a banned substance or that she didn't have anything on her, it's apparent in the pictures that there was. Whether it hurt her or helped her or whatnot, or if it hurt me or helped me, It is what it is. The evidence shows that there was something on her. So, with that alone should have been enough for them to give me a rematch. But if they need more evidence or they need to go to a hearing, then that's what they need to do. But right now, I really don't care. Like I said, I'm moving on to bigger and better things and just trying to continue to fight and better myself.
Mm-hmm. Is it just me, or does it feel like that fight happened a very long time ago? Because I know it happened in October, but it feels like ages ago that fight happened. Does it feel that long to you as it does to me?
It probably feels a lot longer to me.
Right.
I'm in the gym every single day,
right.
Waiting to get a fight, training for a fight, and months go by, weeks go by, and it's very taxing on the body, but you got to stay mentally strong, and you got to, listen to your body and make sure that you're training smart and staying healthy so that when you do get called, you're ready to go. And, some people in between there, that's when they lose the drive and they lose the push, and that's when you see, fighters kind of just step away. So it's definitely been a long wait, and I'm happy that I got the fight, with PXC, and like I said, I'm happy that XFC allowed me to take this fight.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Now, I'm just curious why the long wait. Was XFC, still trying to figure things out of where to put you on a card, or was it something where they said to you, you know what, we don't have a spot now, but then the other organizations outside XFC, they just weren't offering you, why the waiting period?
The waiting period more came because of everything that was going on as far as the Ultimate Fighter and the weight classes, because I was originally signed to both 125 and with 115 for XFC, so it was just something that they were kind of waiting to see and figure out what was going to happen, because they had Heather Jo Clark that was trying out for the show, and possibly Stephanie and some of the other girls, and in between that time they also did have open tryouts as well. So I think they were just trying to fill up the weight classes and figure out who was going where and what was happening until they put on another show. And then also again they had that international card, the first card that happened over there in Brazil, and it was huge, and they have to build that as well. So I think they were upfront with us and let us know the situations that were happening, and we just kind of had to sit and wait, and that's sometimes what you have to do as a fighter, is wait it out and just always be ready to fight, and when you get that phone call, you're ready to go. So that's what happened, and like I said, XFC and John Prisco allowed me to fight outside the organization, and I'm happy.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Now, it's not a long layoff you're on, but you're out of the rotation. Like, I'm sure, you would have liked to have fought, maybe this will be your second or third time that you would have gotten a fight in 2014, but it's not a long layoff, but you're out of the rotation. So, what's that been like? Obviously you touched on it a little bit, but you were fighting like 5 or 6 times your last year as an amateur, and now you've been on the shelf for a little while, and even when you made your pro debut, you fought in November against Rachel Cummins, and then you didn't fight until June when you fought Kelly Warren. So, there's kind of the same layoff that you've had this time around. So what's that been like, being on the shelf?
It's not bad. Like I said, it's just in the gym a lot, working on things. So I think it can help a fighter, it can hurt a fighter. It just depends on the mindset and your coaching staff and the people around you to keep you going. And I've been lucky to have a great coaching staff and great teammates and great support from my family and friends. So I don't really feel like it's gonna hinder me in any way. So I think everything will be fine and everything's gonna fall in place, and I'll get this win and get my name back out there and hopefully stay off the shelf for a little bit.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. How hectic would have been the move out to Hawaii had you been right in the middle of preparing for a fight?
Pretty hectic, I would say. It was definitely a stressful move, but everything's turned out good, and it's going great. So I can't be any happier than I am right now, and I really don't have any complaints about it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What's it like living in Hawaii? Because there's so many people out there who are like, man, one of these days I'm just gonna pack up everything and move to Hawaii. Like, that would be the dream. And now you're living like everybody's dream. So what's it like living out there?
It's great. It really is great. The people here are great. The food's great. The vibe out here is just amazing. It's just a beautiful place to live. It does get a little pricey, but to live in paradise, it's something you just kind of have to take.
Mm-hmm. Do you surf?
I haven't surfed out here yet. I've done a little bit of paddleboarding and stuff like that, but no surfing yet. Just kind of trying to keep my hobbies to a minimal, because I get a little bit addicted to activities, and I don't want that to consume me and take place of some training, because that's what everyone says. Once you start surfing, that's all you want to do.
Oh, I see. Now, are you a full-time fighter, or do you have a second job?
I'm pretty much a full-time fighter. I do coach youth soccer, and then I coach jiu-jitsu, kids jiu-jitsu as well, and then also cardio boxing classes. But for the most part, I'm at the gym 90% of the time. Because we do own the gym and stuff. So, but most of the time, yeah, I'm at the gym, and if I'm not there, then I'm coaching soccer.
Oh, I see. Well, speaking of soccer, people say that soccer is a sport that translates pretty well to MMA because of conditioning and movement and footwork and kicking and all that stuff that's a part of that sport. They say it translates pretty well to MMA, but mostly people talk about the striking aspect of MMA. Soccer translates well into that. Now, obviously, you're working your striking and all that stuff, and you're trying to become a well-rounded mixed martial artist, but your bread and butter is the ground game. I'm just curious, what is it about the ground that you've fallen in love with? Why is that your bread and butter, as opposed to striking, which a lot of people say that's kind of what an ex-soccer player picks up on more? It's the striking aspect. So what is it about grappling that makes that your bread and butter? What is it about that you like so much, and why have you developed so quickly in that aspect of the sport?
I really don't know. It's just something that I really enjoy. It makes sense to me. If it hurts, tap. It's something that I feel like is a lifestyle, and you can definitely do jiu-jitsu for your entire life. It's just one of those sports that once you get it, and you just get it, and it sticks with you. So I think just being able to learn something new every single day, and just to be able to play and in the different skill levels is just very inviting, and I enjoy it.
I see. Now, coming up on June 27th, you're going to be taking on Tomo Masawa. What do you know about her?
I don't know very much. I know she's coming off a 3-fight win streak. But other than that, I leave it up to my coaches to watch videos and figure out what I need to do, and I just kind of listen to them. I watch film once, and other than that, that's about it. And, I just stick to my coach's game plan and, have faith in them and making sure that they build a good game plan for me. And, I just go from there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Because this is the first time we're going to see you in action since your first career loss, is there anything you're looking to prove and anything you're looking to showcase in this fight coming up on June 27th? Anything at all?
I'm just being the fighter that I am and just trusting in my training and trusting in my camp and in my coaches. And other than that, just going out there and doing what I can do and being the best that I can be at that time. And if it goes in my favor, it goes in my favor. If it doesn't, then I brush it off and get back to the drawing boards. But I definitely think this is going to be a good fight for me, and, I'm really excited.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Cortney, last question. I'm curious, how did you get your nickname Cast Iron?
Back in El Paso when I first started training, all the guys were a lot heavier than me. I think the lightest guy that I trained with was like a 155er, 170er. And we do like Shark Tank round robin kind of things, and I'd sit there and get beat on and just kind of stand there and continue, and every round just be ready to go. And one of the guys was like, "You're like a cast iron skillet. You get thrown in the fire and you just come back unscathed." So that's kind of how it happened, and it stuck, and it worked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's got a good ring to it. I like it. So I knew there had to be a good story about it. So. Anyways, Cortney, real quick before I let you go, do you have any sponsors you'd like to thank, and is there anything you'd like to say to the fans?
Yeah, I definitely want to thank my sponsors, Liquid Ninja, Mentum Eyewear, Nutrisuma, Lockdown Clothing, Soapalicious, my husband, Edward Sanchez, my daughter, and also my family and my friends, my nephew Aiden, and then all my training partners over at the Nest, and all my coaches.
Cortney, thank you for taking the time to talk. I really appreciate it, and best of luck coming up on June 27th.
All right, thank you.